With the story and setting of Monster Hunter Rise being obviously based on Japanese mythology, I'm sure many people out there are a little bit curious as to what exactly the Rampage is all about and how it involves the monsters in Monster Hunter Rise. What we are going to take a look at today is the Japanese version of the Nintendo Direct to get a little bit more information regarding the story and setting of Rise and get a better understanding why a lot of the information regarding the monsters are going to be based on Japanese yokai. Let's go ahead and check them out. Hey everyone, Pinoy X here once again, back with another Monster Hunter Rise video. So today what we're gonna take a look at is a little bit more information regarding the Rampage story setting of Monster Hunter Rise and just get a better understanding as to what it's really all about based on the Japanese version of the Nintendo Direct, because the English version doesn't really give us that much information regarding the Rampage. One of the key things that we know about the Rampage is that it caused a calamity 50 years ago, but that's pretty much it. However, in the Japanese version of Nintendo Direct for Monster Hunter Rise, there was a lot more information that we could determine regarding the event of the Rampage and what the exact story setting is for Monster Hunter Rise. Now, before I get started on this, I want to thank the following people for actually gathering as much information on this as possible, which are Bandlagiacrus, MH Kogath, and Gaijin Hunter, because they're pretty much the people that you would need to look into regarding the information on MH Rise at this point to get a better understanding on Japanese mythology. I'm pretty much just culminating all of this information to make a speculation as to what we could expect in the future of the game. So with all of that being said, let's first take a look at what the Rampage is really all about in Monster Hunter Rise. So for the English version of the Nintendo Direct, we got given two particular information regarding the story of the game. The event known as the Rampage, and the other one is in regards to a calamity that happened 50 years prior to the events of the game. Now the Rampage could either just be a narrative device or it could be an actual in-game mechanic. We don't exactly know at this moment in time. Not much speculation can really be made for it. And for the calamity that happened 50 years prior, we don't exactly know what caused it. So there's not a lot of information that we can really gather for the English version of the Direct in order to better speculate the events of the game. However, if we take a look at the Japanese version of the game and take a look at the actual events that happened in Monster Hunter Rise, we could do a little bit more speculation, because in the Japanese version of the Direct, the Rampage is actually called something different. It is called as the Yakuryu Yako, the Night Parade of 100 Wyverns, thanks to Gaijin Hunter and Bandlagiacrus for translating this directly. Now, if we take a look at this event in this format and see the actual Japanese mythology it's inspired by, it is inspired by the Hyakiyako, the Night Parade of 100 Demons. Now, with this information, we can now determine partially as to what happened 50 years prior to the events of the game. A potential night parade has actually occurred somewhere across Kamura village, and it caused a calamity because of this night parade. This could also determine as to what happened within shrine ruins, as to why all of those shrines have become ruins. They could actually be functioning shrines 50 years prior to the events of the game that were attacked during the night parade and were destroyed by monsters. So as you can see, we can do a lot more speculation now just based on the information from the Japanese version of the Direct in comparison to the English version. With the Night Parade's theme in mind, we can actually speculate three information based on the detail of the Night Parade theme alone. The first one is how many monsters we could potentially get in Monster Hunter Rise. Now, we could go up to 100 monsters in total just because of the fact that the Night Parade does have roughly 100 demons involved in it. That's not to say that we are gonna get 100 large monsters, but rather a mixture of three types of monsters: endemic life, small monsters, and large monsters. So that's one speculation I'm making just based on the Night Parade theme alone, in that we could be looking up to 100 monsters in total. Speculation though, so do take it with a huge mountain of salt because of the fact that this is not confirmed information. Now, with the Night Parade theme in mind, as well as the Japanese yokai inspiration for monster designs, we can actually speculate some of the returning monsters. Now, I know I've already seen a number of people actually speculate these creatures, but I'm gonna support them as well anyway, just because of the fact that it does look like these are gonna be the main creatures making a return in Monster Hunter Rise. The first three creatures that we could be looking into are gonna be the Zenogre, the Mizutsune, as well as the Odogaron. Now, all three of these creatures have heavy inspiration in Japanese design when it comes to their overall look, as well as the armor set that they have. So more than likely, we are gonna see these creatures in Monster Hunter Rise. When it comes to Zenogre, the prey of Zenogre is actually in the game anyway, which are the Garguas. So we could actually see an interaction where a Zenogre is eating a Gargua in a similar fashion that we see certain monsters eating an Aptonoth in Monster Hunter World. For Mizutsune, the ability of the Palico to generate bubbles makes me think that there is gonna be a monster that does the exact same thing, meaning Mizutsune. So that's another reason as to why I think Mizutsune is gonna be coming back in Monster Hunter Rise. For the Odogaron, it's mostly to do with the fact that we actually see the Tobikadachi in the game, and the fact that Tobikadachi in the game means that New World monsters are not gonna be excluded in Monster Hunter Rise makes me think that the Odogaron could make it into the game as well. For the Elder Dragons, it's kind of the same thought process here, and the three main Elder Dragons that I think that are going to be making a return in Monster Hunter Rise are the Camellios, the Amatsu Magatsuchi, and the Yamatsukami. Now, for the Camellios, the main reason I think this could make a return in Rise is because it could represent a spirit hunting certain regions of Rise when it comes to the gameplay, because the Camellios is capable of turning invisible, so that could fit in with the story of yokais in Monster Hunter Rise. For the Amatsu, this has a heavy inspiration in Japanese mythology, more to do with Fujin and Raijin, I would say, because this creature can control the weather. For the Yamatsukami, the reason I like this creature is because it's gigantic, it floats in the air, and it looks like an island. And for the most part, with the ability of using wire bugs in the game, we could see the Yamatsukami as a special event where we actually scale the body of the monster using something like the wire bugs in order to fight this creature. So that could be something of an idea for Capcom to do for Monster Hunter Rise as a special event involving the Yamatsukami. So there's one final speculation I want to make before closing off this video, just because of the fact that I'm very familiar with the Night Parade theme that Monster Hunter Rise is going with, and this is in regards to the potential final boss. If the Night Parade or the Rampage is being led by one particular monster, then it is possible that this monster could be inspired by the yokai known as Nurarihyon, because Nurarihyon are known to lead the Night Parades in Japanese mythology. So the overall design of the final boss for the game could be inspired by this particular yokai. Again though, this is just speculation based on the theme that we actually know about at this point regarding Monster Hunter Rise's story, so do take it with a heavy amount of salt. And that's pretty much it for this video, taking a deeper dive into the story of Monster Hunter Rise by looking into the actual inspiration of the story based on Japanese mythology. As you can see, there's a lot more information that we can actually gather and speculate based on the Japanese version of the direct in comparison to the English version, which has more vague information in my opinion. But with all of that being said, what do you think about the overall theme of Monster Hunter Rise's story as well as the monster design? Let us know in the comments below if you like the overall theme of Monster Hunter Rise as well as the designs for the monsters in the game. And with all of that being said, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel as well as hitting that bell icon so you can go ahead and catch up on any future Monster Hunter content that I might be doing or any other games that I might be playing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.